There are major changes coming to Rise of Kingdoms that Lilith just announced this week, and today we're going to break down some of these changes coming with the remaster, and I'm going to give you my take on whether I think they're good, whether I think they're bad, and what I am most excited for. Stick around to find out more. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. Today, we are going to be talking about the crazy and exciting new remaster coming towards Rise of Kingdoms and things that they've announced are coming, things I have a hunch are coming, and what I think of these changes. So, first things first, let's talk about what a remaster is, right? Historically, there have been lots of different remasters. Call of Duty Black Ops is getting remastered. Call of Duty Modern Warfare got remastered. And one of the things that you've noticed pretty consistently is the remasters not always very good when we look back to the original. And part of that, I think, is maybe that there's some emotional attachment to the originals. And so when the remasters come out, we have all very high expectations for them. Now, this remaster is a little bit different. Rise of Kingdoms has had some chronic issues essentially since its launch. And that is, graphically, it really hasn't changed. I've been playing this game for over 5 years now, and it looks almost identical, which personally I love because it's the game that I started. But at the same time, if we're talking about trying to stay up to date and get with the times and all that, it probably needs to change a little bit, just a little bit. Now, the other things that I think are probably the most important that are problematic with this game today is the performance. We have major KVKs and there's lag. We have not so major KVKs and there's lag. And that lag during those KVKs causes all sorts of problems, right? Your game will crash. Sometimes if your game crashes, you end up with a full hospital and you get a bunch of dead troops. And that's really problematic when we talk about the gameplay of the game. Now, Lilith has tried a couple different things to try and make this a little bit easier today. A lot of that comes to forcing kingdoms really to downsize. And if they do that, then you end up with smaller KVKs, which makes sense. But that's really not the best solution, especially if we're talking about a game that's intending on having a growing user base, which it does. If you look at the download data, more people are downloading Rise of Kingdoms every single day. So what should we hope for? I think for me, what I'm hoping for is to still have a differentiated UI, right? Rise of Kingdoms is a very special game. It looks different from a lot of the other games on the App Store. I like that personally. I think it's a little bit whimsical. I think it's fun. I want it to stay that way. Now, the other thing that I'm looking for is performance and quality improvements, right? No more crashing, no more breaking, no more random offline connectivity bugs. I don't know if you guys get that. I get it all the time where I boot up the game and it takes like 5 minutes for it to actually realize that I'm online. So let's actually talk about some of the things that they've announced, how I feel about them, and what you should be thinking. Now, before I dive into that, drop a like on the video if you're as excited as I am. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner. There is the potential for me to get access to an early server so I can show you guys these updates. So stick around if you want to find out. Now, let's look at the first thing that they showed off in this trailer. And it's a 30-second trailer. I'll link it in the description. I couldn't play it here because copyright. The first thing they've shown off is remastered models. So they've changed some of the background styling here. They've added shadows, and you can see that there. And the goal here is to try and make the game look a little bit more updated. Now, you also have a couple things that I want to call out here. You've got new nodes. So there's your wood node, and there is your food node. And this kind of gives like Stardew Valley-esque vibes. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But this looks a little bit different from the Rise of Kingdoms that we all know and love today. And I think it looks fine. If we do take a look at Call of Dragons, which is the other game they own, it does look more similar to that than I think Rise of Kingdoms. But I don't know. I think they've kept some of the color schemes the same. I don't really know about lily pads and the rivers, but okay, it's fine. I think the one thing that I'm not crazy about is actually these nodes. This node actually looks a little bit more old school and a little bit less the way it does today. And if you actually zoom in on the nodes today, they look really cool. They're actually pretty detailed. So overall, I mean, it's fine. I'm not crazy about the styling. I think that they were trying to straddle updating the graphics and also trying to make sure that it stays true to the game. And I think they actually did a pretty good job of that based on this. We'll have to wait and see what everything really looks like when they bring out changes to structures, passes, etc. But so far, this is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Again, this is Call of Dragons. I just wanted to compare it. Just take a look at the two, see how the two compare. Because again, Lilith is probably taking a lot of the engines and the learnings from Call of Dragons and bringing it to Rise of Kingdoms. And that's really what we're seeing here with this main remaster. So, okay, let's look at Call of Dragons and see what the changes are. You see the nodes look kind of similar. But overall, this map is kind of bland. Maybe this is just the place that I'm looking on the map. But I honestly think the screenshot that I've seen for Rise of Kingdoms does look better than this. Just comparing the two. So that's just my initial take there. I also hate the font of Call of Dragons. I think the Rise of Kingdoms font is much better. So, okay, so they're updating the graphics. I think that's fine for the most part. But the most important thing that they've announced as part of this is the next-gen engine. Greatly enhanced performance and reduced lag. And my presumption here is that they're actually taking the engine that they built for Call of Dragons and they're bringing it into Rise of Kingdoms. And this is a really big deal because for a long time they weren't going to do it. They've been talking about this for over a year and there's been no news until now. And so this is actually really, really huge news because it means better performance, less lag, and perhaps most importantly, you probably won't need a better device in order to perform, right? You can just use your same phone and do just as well because it's a little bit more optimized. I'm excited about this. I hope that it delivers all the results that we want it to. I've heard mixed things about the actual Call of Dragons experience when we talk about lag and King's Land and things like that, but I don't know how much worse it can get, so I'm kind of hopeful here. I think it can be a really good improvement, and if they fix this, this is one of the biggest complaints in Rise of Kingdoms. Now, that doesn't solve another issue that we have. When you're in Rise of Kingdoms, there are two main periods. KVK, and then non-KVK. And the problem today is there's not a lot to do during non-KVK. In fact, I have a video coming out in the next couple days that's going to be talking through that. But there's not a lot to do during non-KVK. So are they going to fix that? Let's find out. So one of the things that they've added is new KVK 1 PvE. So player versus everyone and other new gameplay features. I don't really care about KVK 1. I think KVK 1 is probably, they're talking about this, honestly, it's going to be for new people that start. By the time that this game actually gets the remaster, everyone who's not in KVK 1 hasn't even downloaded the game today. So I don't really care about that. I think it's interesting. I think they're trying new things, and hopefully that yields fruit. I'm wondering if maybe they're going to make it so KVK 1 is a little bit more matchmaking based and a little bit less fight everyone in your continent, because that seems kind of silly. In fact, you get these really strong continents that just kind of blow everyone else out of the water. But honestly, that feels more like a bug fix or a patch than something that they would call out in a remaster. Now, other new gameplay features. This is something that intrigues me because we've seen ranged commanders come into Rise of Kingdoms, and we love Mr. Siege, but unfortunately, they really haven't taken off at scale. And I'm wondering if they're going to make some changes here to help enable that. New gameplay features, things like that would be nice, but I hope they don't over-index on the additional spending category. You've got armaments, you've got equipment, you've got gold heads. If they add any more to complicate that gameplay, it's going to become problematic. Now, I love the artifact mechanic. I think that's a great idea. The way that you can change different troop unit types, things like that. I love that. I wonder if they can add an equipment that changes a normal march into a ranged march. That would be cool. Or something like that. So maybe they add that. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think they're going to add from a gameplay and feature standpoint? Now, another thing. A new KVK story. Shifting gears. Now, shifting gears gives Siege, right? Because we're talking about gears turning. I don't know, though. They really haven't provided any additional context here. What I do love is that we do have a lot of really good KVK types already. Lilith has done a great job of really expanding the KVK pool. You've got Siege of Orleans. You've got Storm of Stratagems. You've got all sorts of different ones, relic KVKs, non-relic KVKs, heroic anthem, strife of the eight, etc. I don't know if we really needed a new KVK type, if I'm being honest. I feel like one of the problems they're going to run into is they don't have enough players to actually have all the players fill in all the KVKs. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it'll be fine. So that's an interesting one. And this is actually what really excites me. Brand new annual KVK story. What is the annual KVK story? So this I like because the premise of KVK today is you play it, once every couple months you have a KVK. It's about 55 days, and then you go back to farming for another couple months. Annual KVK is an interesting premise because maybe this is a longer form KVK that goes on for a little while longer. So you've got battling, you've got excitement, you've got things like that last longer. Maybe this is a once a year type of KVK deal where you get something special or it's a bigger KVK or something like that. I'm excited about this. I think this has the potential to solve that problem I mentioned earlier, which is we spend a lot of time in Home Kingdom right now and it's not really worth it. So I'm excited about this. Let me know what you guys think. I think this has the potential to make a big change to Rise of Kingdoms. And I'm excited to see what happens. So there's everything we know about Rise of Kingdoms Remastered. I hope you guys are excited as I am. If you are, do be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, I might get access to the test servers to show all this awesome stuff off to you guys. And drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed. Thank you all. Shappy out.